Revolutionizing the modern education curriculum by replacing the subject of history with a focus on world cultures could bring a dynamic and holistic approach to learning. This shift would involve a curriculum that captures the essence of global diversity through the exploration of contemporary lifestyles, dressing styles, music, art, culture, food habits, and more, specific to different cultures and countries. Here's how this transformation could be structured. However, 1. Shift in focus from historical events to contemporary cultural understanding. Objective. The goal is to move beyond the study of past events to an in-depth exploration of how cultures around the world live today. Content. This would include an exploration of the current lifestyles, traditions, dressing styles, music, art, food, and social habits that define various cultures. Purpose: to foster global awareness, empathy, and appreciation for cultural diversity, encouraging students to see the world from multiple perspectives. 2. Interdisciplinary approach. Integration with other subjects. World cultures could be integrated with geography, sociology, art, and even economics to provide a well-rounded understanding of how cultures are influenced by and contribute to these fields. Project-based learning. Students could engage in projects that involve researching different cultures, preparing cultural presentations, or even creating art, music, or food that represents a particular culture. Comparative analysis. Students could compare and contrast cultural practices, understanding the reasons behind different lifestyles and how these practices have evolved over time. 3. Experiential learning. Cultural exchanges. Virtual exchanges with students from different countries could provide first-hand experience of cultural diversity. Field trips. Visits to cultural centers, museums, and events that celebrate different cultures would bring the curriculum to life. Guest speakers and workshops, inviting artists, chefs, musicians, and other cultural ambassadors from different backgrounds to share their experiences and skills. Number 4. Development of global competencies. Cultural sensitivity. Students would develop an understanding and respect for cultural differences, reducing stereotypes and prejudices, encouraging the learning of basic phrases or even languages spoken in different cultures to enhance communication skills. Global citizenship. Promoting a sense of global responsibility and encouraging students to think about their role in the world. Number 5. Assessment and evaluation. Portfolio-based assessment. Students could maintain portfolios that include essays, projects, art, and other creative work related to their study of world cultures. Peer and self-assessment, encouraging students to evaluate each other's work and reflect on their own learning process. Cultural immersion projects. As a capstone project, students could choose a culture to immerse themselves in, either through travel, virtual engagement, or deep research, and present their findings and experiences. 6. Curriculum design. Modular structure. The curriculum could be divided into modules, each focusing on a different region of the world, allowing students to explore cultures in depth. Flexible content. The curriculum should be adaptable, allowing for the inclusion of emerging cultures and subcultures as they evolve. Interactive resources. Use of multimedia, including documentaries, podcasts, and online platforms, to explore world cultures in a more engaging way. Incorporating contemporary issues. Global challenges. Discuss how different cultures are addressing global challenges such as climate change, migration, and technology. Cultural dynamics. Explore how cultures are adapting to globalization, the blending of cultures, and the preservation of cultural heritage. Cultural impact. Analyze the impact of media, technology, and international relations on cultural identities. 8. Encouraging critical thinking. Debates and discussions. Encourage students to debate cultural practices, norms, and the concept of cultural appropriation. Ethical considerations. Discuss the ethical implications of cultural exchanges, including the preservation of indigenous cultures and the impact of tourism. 9. Collaborative learning environment. Group projects. Students could work in groups to research and present different aspects of a culture, fostering teamwork and collaboration. Cultural fairs. Schools could organize cultural fairs where students showcase what they have learned through exhibitions, performances, and food tastings. Number 10. Long-term impact. Cultural literacy. graduates would leave school with a deep understanding of the world's cultures, better preparing them for global citizenship and diverse workplaces. Enhanced creativity. Exposure to various art forms, music, and cultural expressions would enhance students' creativity and appreciation for different ways of life. Broader worldview. Students would develop a broader, more inclusive worldview, understanding that history is continuously being made through the lives of people today. By replacing history with world cultures, the education system can create more globally aware, culturally sensitive, and creative individuals who are better equipped to navigate and contribute to a diverse world. Introducing world cultures as a core subject in schools and universities, focusing on lifestyles, dressing styles, music, art, culture, food, habits, and peculiarities specific to various cultures and countries, can profoundly shape the development of modern students. This approach nurtures both individual growth and global citizenship in several key ways. 1. Fostering cultural awareness and appreciation. Individual growth. Students gain a deep understanding of the rich diversity that exists in the world. By learning about different cultures' customs, traditions, and ways of life, students develop an appreciation for the uniqueness of each culture. This helps break down stereotypes and reduces biases, encouraging open-mindedness and acceptance of differences. Global citizenship. A focus on world cultures equips students with the knowledge needed to interact respectfully and effectively with people from different backgrounds. This cultural literacy is essential in today's interconnected world, where cross-cultural communication is increasingly common in both personal and professional settings. 2. Enhancing communication skills and emotional intelligence. Individual growth. Understanding the cultural contexts behind communication styles, nonverbal cues, and social norms helps students become more effective communicators. They learn to navigate conversations with sensitivity and adaptability, which enhances their emotional intelligence and interpersonal skills. Global citizenship. As students learn about the nuances of communication in different cultures, they become better equipped to engage in global discussions, collaborate on international projects, and participate in cross-cultural exchanges. This ability to communicate across cultures is vital for fostering peaceful and productive global relationships. Promoting creativity and innovation. Individual growth. Exposure to diverse forms of art, music, and fashion inspires creativity. Students are encouraged to explore different artistic expressions and integrate them into their own work. This cross-pollination of ideas from various cultures can lead to innovative thinking and unique creative outputs. Global citizenship. By understanding the global origins of different art forms and innovations, students develop a broader perspective on creativity. This global awareness encourages them to contribute to a world where cultural exchange and collaboration drive progress and innovation. 4. Building global competencies. Individual growth. Students develop skills that are essential for thriving in a globalized world, such as adaptability, problem-solving, and critical thinking. By learning about the challenges and opportunities faced by different cultures, they become more resilient and capable of navigating complex global issues. Global citizenship. Equipped with a global perspective, students are better prepared to address global challenges such as climate change, social justice, and economic inequality. They understand the interconnectedness of these issues and are motivated to work towards solutions that benefit the global community. 5. Encouraging ethical and responsible behavior. Individual growth. Understanding the ethical dimensions of cultural practices and the impact of cultural appropriation helps students develop a strong sense of ethics. They learn to appreciate and respect cultural heritage and the importance of responsible cultural exchange. Global citizenship. As students become more aware of the ethical implications of their actions on a global scale, they are more likely to act responsibly in their personal and professional lives. This includes making ethical consumer choices, supporting fair trade, and advocating for cultural preservation. Strengthening identity and personal values. Individual growth. By learning about other cultures, students also gain a deeper understanding of their own cultural identity. This reflective process helps them to define their values, beliefs, and sense of self in a global context. They learn to respect their heritage while being open to learning from others. Global citizenship. A strong sense of personal identity, coupled with an appreciation for global diversity, allows students to contribute to a multicultural society. They become advocates for inclusivity and equality, promoting a world where different cultures can coexist harmoniously. 7. Nurturing lifelong learning and curiosity. Individual growth. World cultures stimulate curiosity and a desire for lifelong learning. Students are encouraged to explore the world beyond their immediate environment, leading to a lifelong interest in travel, language learning, and cultural exploration. Global citizenship. This curiosity and openness to learning make students more adaptable and informed global citizens. They are more likely to engage with international issues, participate in cultural exchanges, and contribute to global dialogue throughout their lives. 8. Preparing for global careers. Individual growth. A curriculum centered on world cultures prepares students for careers in international business, diplomacy, tourism, global health, and other fields that require a deep understanding of different cultures. They gain the skills needed to work effectively in diverse teams and environments. Global citizenship. By being culturally competent, students are more competitive in the global job market. They can leverage their understanding of different cultures to create inclusive workplaces, lead multicultural teams, and foster international collaboration. In summary, by replacing traditional history with a curriculum focused on world cultures, students are not only educated about the past, but are also equipped with the knowledge, skills, and attitudes necessary to thrive in a globalized world. This approach nurtures well-rounded individuals who are empathetic, culturally aware, and capable of making meaningful contributions to the global community. Integrating world cultures into the mainstream curriculum as subjects can provide students with a rich, immersive learning experience. Here are examples of how this could be implemented across different subjects. 1. Language arts. Curriculum focus. Incorporate global literature, poetry, and storytelling from diverse cultures. Example. While studying Japanese culture, students might read the tale of Genji, considered the world's first novel, followed by contemporary Japanese manga or poetry. They could then compare these with literature from their own culture, analyzing themes, characters, and cultural contexts. Assessment. Students could write essays or create multimedia presentations exploring the influence of cultural values on literature. They could also engage in creative writing projects inspired by the styles and themes of the cultures they study. 2. Social studies. Curriculum focus. Replace traditional history lessons with a focus on contemporary world cultures, examining how history has shaped current cultural practices. Example. In studying the culture of Brazil, students might explore how indigenous African and Portuguese influences have shaped Brazilian society, including its music, dance, like samba, and festivals, like carnival. They could research the impact of historical events on modern Brazilian culture. Assessment. Students might create documentaries or visual presentations that highlight the evolution of cultural practices and their relevance today. They could also participate in debates or discussions about the role of culture in shaping national identity. 3. Art and music. Curriculum focus. Introduce art and music from various cultures, emphasizing the connection between cultural expression and social context. Example. When studying West African cultures, students could learn about traditional drumming techniques and mask making. They might also explore contemporary African art movements and the influence of African rhythms in global music genres like jazz and hip-hop. Assessment. Students could create their own art inspired by African motifs or compose music that blends traditional rhythms with modern styles. They might also curate an art exhibit or music performance that showcases their understanding of cultural influences. 4. Geography. Curriculum focus. Connect physical geography with cultural practices, exploring how the environment influences lifestyle, food, and traditions. Example. While studying the geography of India, students could learn how the diverse climates and landscapes influence regional cuisines, agricultural practices, and festivals. They might explore how the monsoon season affects both rural and urban life. Assessment. Students could create interactive maps that highlight the relationship between geography and culture, or they could present case studies on how geographic features shape cultural identities. They might also participate in simulations or role-playing exercises to understand the challenges faced by people living in different environments. 5. Culinary arts. Curriculum focus. Explore the culinary traditions of various cultures, understanding the cultural significance of food and dining practices. Example, in a culinary arts class, students might learn to prepare dishes from around the world, such as Moroccan tagine, Italian pasta, or Japanese sushi. They would also explore the cultural contexts of these dishes, such as the importance of communal dining in Mediterranean cultures or the role of tea ceremonies in Japan. Assessment. Students could host international food fairs where they prepare and present dishes from the cultures they've studied, explaining the ingredients, cooking methods, and cultural significance. They might also write reflective essays on how food shapes cultural identity and brings people together. Physical education. Curriculum focus. Incorporate traditional and contemporary sports, games, and physical activities from various cultures. Example, students might learn about and participate in traditional Maori games from New Zealand, practice Brazilian capoeira, or engage in yoga as part of studying Indian culture. These activities would be paired with lessons on their cultural origins and significance. Assessment. Students could demonstrate their skills in these cultural activities through performances or competitions. They might also create presentations on the cultural importance of physical activity and how it promotes community and health. 7. Science. Curriculum focus. Explore the contributions of different cultures to scientific knowledge and how cultural practices influence environmental stewardship. Example, in a unit on indigenous cultures of the Americas, students could study traditional ecological knowledge, tech, and how indigenous practices contribute to biodiversity conservation. They could also explore how different cultures use natural resources sustainably. Assessment. Students might conduct experiments or research projects that compare traditional ecological practices with modern scientific methods. They could also create presentations or reports on the impact of cultural practices on the environment and discuss how these can inform contemporary environmental policies. 8. Technology and innovation. Curriculum focus. Examine how different cultures approach technology and innovation, including traditional techniques and modern advancements. Example, students might study how the ancient Egyptians used technology in construction, pyramids, or how Chinese innovations like papermaking and printing have shaped the world. They could also explore contemporary innovations from countries like Japan or South Korea. Assessment. Students could engage in projects where they recreate ancient technologies using modern tools or design their own innovations inspired by the technological approaches of other cultures. They might also participate in discussions about the ethical implications of technological advancements across cultures. 9. Language learning. Curriculum focus. Language classes would be enriched with cultural studies, where students not only learn the language, but also explore the associated culture's art, music, and traditions. Example, in a Spanish language class, students might explore the diverse cultures of the Spanish-speaking world, from Spain to Latin America. They would study regional dialects, traditions like Dia de los Muertos in Mexico, and music genres like flamenco and salsa. Assessment. Students could give presentations or performances in the language they are studying, incorporating cultural elements like music, dance, or traditional storytelling. They might also participate in cultural exchange programs or virtual language immersion experiences. 10. Ethics and philosophy. Curriculum focus. Introduce students to philosophical and ethical systems from various cultures, discussing how cultural values shape moral reasoning and behavior. Example, while studying Chinese culture, students might explore Confucianism and Taoism, discussing how these philosophies influence concepts of harmony, family, and governance. They could compare these with Western philosophical traditions. Assessment. Students could write comparative essays, engage in debates, or create visual projects that explore how different cultures approach ethics and philosophy. They might also participate in discussions on global ethical issues, informed by the diverse philosophical perspectives they have studied. Integrating world cultures into mainstream curriculum subjects helps students develop a more nuanced understanding of the world. This approach encourages cross-disciplinary learning, fostering skills in cultural literacy, empathy, creativity, and critical thinking. By experiencing the richness of global cultures through multiple lenses, students are better prepared to become thoughtful, informed global citizens.